Print on demand is probably one of the best side hustles that you can start now and into the year 2023. This is mostly because we have access to hundreds of different print on demand products, all of which come from print on demand suppliers, which means we don't have to actually pay for them until we make a sale. You can build out your own store, and then you can use the power of social media to begin marketing your stuff. Take a look at this store here. They have chosen a really great niche, and they began to make products that people in the niche will actually want to buy. They have then set up shop both on Facebook and on Instagram in order to begin growing their presence on social media and ultimately begin selling their print-on-demand products. During the video today, I will also show you some more print-on-demand stores that are doing a great job at this. But more importantly, today I'm going to be reviewing 3 myths about print-on-demand, and more importantly, I'm going to be revealing the truth behind those myths for 2023, and some of them may shock you. If you are new here, hello, my name is Joe Robert. I started print-on-demand in 2016. I have built several print-on-demand stores that have done very well. At this point, I have been able to generate a full-time income from print-on-demand stores. In addition, students of mine in my private coaching program have made about $5 million in sales. So today I'm going to be sharing both on my own experience as well as things that I've observed with other people on their stores. Make sure to check out some of my other videos if you want to see some of the strategies that I am using. And also if you want to go through some more advanced training, the link to my course is in the description of this video. Inside, you'll get access to over 30 step-by-step videos showing you how to build out your print-on-demand store, and the best part is it is completely free, and like I said, there is a link down in the description. Now, our first myth that I want you to think about is the idea that you need a massive product catalog in order to appear as a trustworthy type of store. A lot of people think that in order to make their store be somewhere where people actually want to spend money, that they need to have hundreds or dozens of designs on their store. And this sort of comes from the Etsy strategy, right? If you're someone that has ever been exposed to the idea of starting an Etsy store, you know that really in order to succeed with this sort of a thing, you're going to need to have hundreds and hundreds of designs. And my point is, if you are trying to sell in this niche here, you're going to be competing with so many other stores. You can see I just typed in baseball mom here on Etsy and we have over 135,000 results. If you're building your print-on-demand store and you are focused on building as big of a product catalog as possible, 2 things are going to happen to you. The first is you're ultimately going to have a lot of junk for sale on your store. And then secondly, you're going to spend so much time making all of those designs, which ultimately could lead to you burning out. Let's imagine a scenario where you spend months building out your store, where your goal is to just try to fill it up with as many designs as possible. When you actually begin to try marketing, if you hit any roadblock at all, or if you ever don't make sales on your first day or your first week, there's a good chance that you may get pretty discouraged. I talked about earlier that I am going to be sharing from experience here in this video today, and I have seen so many students of mine who have come to my training and have ended up saying that they wasted tons of time building out massive print-on-demand stores because they thought they had to. Take a look at this store here. It is called dadgang.co, and basically, as you can see, they have like 6 different products here. And in some cases, you might look at this and think that this is not a thriving store. But the fact is, if we take a peek at their Instagram account, you will see that they are doing a fantastic job with a small product catalog. Here we are on their page. They have over 16,000 followers. It says, the brand celebrating fatherhood. Hats are back in stock and always sell out quick. As we scroll through, you can see that they've done a tremendous job at collecting social proof from their customers, as well as showing some of their product samples. This is a great way to convey your brand on social media. Earlier, I talked about how if you are building an Etsy site, then you're probably going to need to make hundreds and hundreds of designs in order to get any traction at all. The problem is too, if you ever wanted to make a similar brand to what I just showed you, if you were putting your stuff on Etsy, again, it would be pretty tough to stand out. A better option would be to use the power of social media. Instead of uploading your stuff here, just getting kind of lost with everybody else. You can see at the top of the page, it says that there are over 113,000 results here. Basically what I'm saying here is myth number 1 is that you need a lot of products in order to have a successful print-on-demand store. What I'm here to tell you is that is just not True. I have built print-on-demand stores that have had less than 10 designs on them, and they were thriving and made a lot of sales. I've also seen a lot of students of mine do the same thing. My advice to you would be to start slow. Just create a couple of designs for a couple of different products and get started. That way, you will not waste a ton of time in the process of just getting your store ready. Myth number 2 is one that I talk about a lot on my channel, and it's one that gets a lot of people upset, if I am being honest. The amount of comments I have gotten from people after I've talked about this that are upset is insane. Honestly, every time I make a video about the subject that I'm about to talk about, there's a bunch of people in the comments that are pretty upset. So I'll ask you to please hear my argument. Listen to the entire thing before you go down in the comments and leave me a nice comment. Myth number 2 is that t-shirts are a great product for beginners to learn how to do print on demand. In my opinion, t-shirts are probably one of the worst products for beginners to try and sell. And this is coming from someone who started print on demand in 2016 and started with shirts. And I also didn't fail with shirts. I have videos here on my channel talking about how the first time I ever got to a $10,000 month was with shirts. My point is now, in the year 2022, as I'm making this video, and potentially in 2023 as you're watching this, is that t-shirts are just not that good of a product anymore. And the first reason is not really something that you can argue with, because it's math. You can see here this t-shirt inside of the Printify app. If we scroll down, the United States supplier for this product is going to cost you $10.14. Now, in most cases, people selling shirts online are pricing them between $17 and about $25. If you are pricing it at the $25 price point, you're likely going to want to do free shipping on it for the customer, so then that way your shirt doesn't cost any more than $25. Anything more than 25 bucks for a shirt is a little bit too expensive in my opinion. Now, I know there's going to be people too that are going to go down in the comments and they're going to say if your design is good enough, then you can sell it for more than $25. And that might be true. Just roll with me here for the math. If you're selling it for $25 and you're paying the $10.14 for it, plus the $4 to ship, you're at about $15. Really just $14 and change, which means you're making about $11 in profit on that shirt. Which I guess is okay, right? $11 in profit per sale. If you wanted to make $1,000 in profit in a single month, you would need to make 100 sales. The question would be though, how are you going to make those sales? Obviously, there's ways that you can promote your print-on-demand products for free. I have detailed a lot of them here on my channel before, but if you've watched my channel before, you know that I recommend paid advertising as your primary way to generate customers. According to a recent study here, you can see that above this little t-shirt icon, they found that on average, advertisers are spending about $10.98 in order to find a customer with their Facebook and their Instagram ads. Which means that if you're pricing your t-shirt at $25 and it's costing you $14, your entire profit margin is being used to run your ads. And what you should do instead is choose a better print-on-demand product. There are so many print-on-demand products out there that make you double, triple, even 10 times the profit of a t-shirt. Make sure to check out some of my other videos to see some of my favorites. The second problem with t-shirts is the amount of saturation that currently exists. And honestly, this is probably going to be more difficult to overcome than the profitability of shirts. What I mean by that is there are just so many people online selling shirts. No matter what niche you are in, there's a good chance that places like Amazon or Etsy or Redbubble or Teespring or whatever t-shirt platform you want to find is that there are going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people selling shirts. Here we are on Etsy. I just typed in military shirts. We have almost 80,000 results. If I go and type in nurse shirts, we have almost 200,000 results. And even worse, if I type in teacher shirt, we have almost 500,000 results. Almost 500,000 teacher shirts on Etsy. If you are looking at that and thinking that there is room for you to get started, then you probably have a rude awakening ahead of you. And that's why I'm saying that selling shirts is a great product for beginners to get started with is a myth. Now, of course, maybe you're not selling to military veterans or nurses or even teachers, but there's a good chance that no matter what niche you are planning to sell to, there are hundreds of thousands of other people that have already done it with shirts. A much better option would be to still stick with some of those great niches that I just talked about, people in the military or nurses or teachers, and do something like this here. This store is called lovetrendify.com, and they make these really awesome print-on-demand shoes for nurses. This is basically the best way that you can easily cut through some of the saturation that currently exists with print-on-demand. What I'm talking about is making sure that you are choosing print-on-demand products that are a little less popular. That way, when people stumble across your stuff, they are able to see something unique like this. And honestly, if you are one of the people that has been able to actually break through and make shirts, even though they are so saturated, congratulations. You are making just a teeny tiny amount of profit on all of your sales. What you should do is take that talent that you have in terms of making a great design for a shirt and apply it to a print-on-demand product that's going to make you a lot more money. Not only will you be more profitable, but you'll also have less customers. This is another thing that people don't often think about, is that the more profit you want to make, the more customers you're going to have. And if you're selling a low profit product like a t-shirt or even a mug, you're going to need a lot more customers than if you were selling a higher profit product. Now, before we jump into myth number 3 here and wrap up the video, I know that a lot of people are becoming interested in building a print-on-demand store. I said at the beginning of this video that print-on-demand is probably the best side hustle that you can start, mainly because there is a very low barrier to entry. We don't have to order any of our products until we actually make a sale. And thirdly, we can use the power of social media to build our brands. With that said, myth number 3 here is this is an easy thing to do. Some people have a if you build it, they will come type of a mentality, meaning if they just buy a domain name and open a store, no matter how that store looks, if they put funny or cool looking designs on a bunch of random products on it, then people will become interested. Take a look at this print-on-demand store here. I actually got this from inside of my print-on-demand Facebook group. Every Tuesday, I make a post where I ask people to share their stores, and sometimes I feature them here on my YouTube channel. Before we actually break this store down, I just want to say that I don't mean to discourage anybody. If I say something negative about your store on my YouTube channel, what I'm truly trying to do is provide you with some brutally honest feedback and just ultimately try to help you to do better. This store here is exactly what I'm talking about when people have this if you build it, they will come type of a mentality. What I mean is they have made a store. The name of the store is smartassapparel.com, which, again, is maybe not the most professional, but it says that it's apparel for the no BS kind of person. As we scroll through, we can see the same mock-up used about 12 times here on the homepage. It then says favorite. It has a picture of an elf peeing on the word Merry Christmas. There is a few more posts down at the bottom, and then the store, just sort of ends. To me, this is the typical print-on-demand store that someone runs for about 90 days before they throw in the towel. What they do is they spend a whole bunch of time making a bunch of random designs. Stuff like this that says, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face definitely will. Or a product like this, and I'm not going to read that because I try not to be someone who says F words on his YouTube channel. But you guys know what it says. You can read it. When we look at the product page here, there is practically no branding at all. Sometimes I give the analogy when I am doing training that if you ever went into a real store, like something in the mall, and let's say that inside the mall store there was no signage anywhere, and basically the store just had white walls all the way around, white carpet, white shelves, and just had merchandise thrown on them, you would feel that that store feels a little bit generic. You would feel like you are in a very weird place that isn't represented by an actual brand. When I say the word brand, I'm just talking about the different elements that someone would use to convey a certain image to you. When we look at this store here, everything feels very generic. Essentially, someone built it hoping people would just come and shop on it. They have created a lot of random designs, and ultimately what they have not done is chosen a solid niche for themselves. Your niche is ultimately what is going to get people interested in your stuff. If your goal is to just put elves on shirts and sell them for $25 on an e-commerce site, you're likely going to struggle. This is the type of shirt that you see in a department store for $10 or something like that, and most times it ends up on the clearance rack and someone buys it for $4 in January. Here is what I am talking about. I showed you this store at the beginning. This is a store. It's called trailrunningaddicts.com. They have done a fantastic job at, first and foremost, choosing a niche. Their niche is people that like to run, people that like the outdoors, that kind of a thing. And what they've done is they've chosen some really cool products. They have neck gaiters, they have all over printed shirts, they have car seat covers and joggers and hoodies. They even have hooded blankets as well. And what they've done here is built themselves an actual brand. They spent the $20, they bought themselves a sample, they got it in, they laid it on some wood and took a picture of it. It now shows here on their store and sort of sets them apart from a lot of the other people that are just sort of throwing print-on-demand stores together. I'm not sure if this here is the person that actually owns the store or if this is some sort of a customer submitted photo. Regardless, it's awesome and totally helps their brand. They're doing the same thing on their Facebook page. They are posting awesome photos. And again, I don't know if these are from customers. I don't know if this is the person that owns the store. Regardless though, they are doing an awesome job at building themselves a real brand inside of their niche. Myth number 3 is that you should just focus on making as many designs as possible without any regard to an actual niche. What you should be doing is choosing a niche. Your niche is what ultimately gets people interested in your stuff. A niche is something that is a passion that someone has. It's something they identify with. It's basically a shared interest amongst people, right? That's the niche, okay? Things like a hobby, things like jobs, different things like that. That is ultimately what you want to do with your print-on-demand store. If you have any thoughts about the myths that I talked about today, maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, either way, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear about your process so far with your print-on-demand store. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you are new here, make sure to check out some of the other videos here on the channel. I try to do my best to show you some really awesome strategies and really awesome print-on-demand products, as well as the course that's linked in the description of the video. It's going to show you how to open your store, and it's completely free. So check that out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.